If ever you've bought an LED TV over the last 10 years, and you've probably bought several, this is going to help you. It will answer questions. The Great LED TV Con. What's that all about then? Well, take this TV for example. It's a Sony 55-inch 4K TV, all singing, all dancing, got all the apps, does everything you want to. Except, like a lot of LED TVs, after a few years, it just kind of stops doing what you want it to do. And there's a reason for that. There's a fault. But it's a fault that's been put there. So you get home from work, you've had a hard day, you want to check out the 7 o'clock news and have a bit of laugh with some of the programmes on the goggle box this evening. So you turn the TV on, and occasionally it does this. And you just keep going round in circles, turning it on, and it turns itself off. You turn it on, and it turns itself off. Now, as I say, we're using a Sony 55-inch TV, but this is applicable to LGs, Samsung, Panasonics, and just about every LED TV that's been on the marketplace in the last 10 years. Now, you probably think there's a fault with the switch. Maybe the fuse has gone in the plug, so you'll check it. But there's one thing you probably haven't noticed, and a lot of TV sets do this. Underneath the logo, there's a blinking light. This is blinking a red light 6 times. That means something. It tells the TV engineer that there's a fault and where exactly to look. So it means you're not watching the TV tonight. You've got to take this back to the shop, get it sorted. Now, I've been an engineer and a TV enthusiast for longer than I can remember, so let's just have a look at this TV. The back is off. I'll just tilt it forward, and we can have a look at the circuit ports in the back. Very quickly, you can see the power supply there on the right-hand side. There's a T-Con in the middle, and on the left-hand side, it's the main board. And on that main board is a little chip. And I'll just focus in on this chip, because this is what drives all the LEDs, tells them when to turn on, when to turn off, how bright they should be, and it also lets the TV know that if there's a slight fault, just a slight fault, then it's going to shut it down. It goes into protection mode, and protection mode means one thing and one thing only. The TV is off. So then you find the helpline number for your TV manufacturer and you get in contact with them, you tell them what's happened, they try and help you over the phone, but they know full well what's going on, and they ask you to take it into your local service centre. Your local service centre will either repair it or tell you it's probably better, in this case, to go and buy yourself a whole new TV. But that's going to cost you hundreds, and it even can cost between £150 and £300 to repair. Well, let's just bypass that little protection circuit, shall we? Because we're talking about LEDs that are less than 1 watt each and millivolts each. It's not really a high power problem. I'm going to bypass that little chip and we'll bypass the error protection circuit and we'll see what's happened. Is the TV going to burst into flames? Is the TV ever going to work again? What was the problem? Will we be able to see it? A 6-blink code is what's known as the SOS error for the backlights. So one of the backlights has developed a fault. It may have gone short, it may have gone open, or it may have just gone weak. But why shut the whole TV down? Let's look at it this way. How many lamps are in your house do you have on in the evening? 2, 3, 4? Probably some upstairs, maybe one outside. Well, if one bulb goes in your house, what happens if the electricity company decided to shut all your electric down until you got that bulb fixed? It's the same story. And the LED lights inside here, as I mentioned, just millivolts. So it's probably just a slight fluctuation which is upsetting that chip and the protection error bursts into circuit. Well, we've bypassed it now, so let's see what happens. And please remember, as I said earlier, this is not just down to a Sony fault. This is Panasonic, it's also LG, it's Samsung, and a lot of other manufacturers that you can find in your supermarkets with the TVs going cheap. You see, the truth is, once a TV fails, a lot of people will just throw it away and move on to the next one. You see, the truth is, the consumer really doesn't have much choice. They either pay quite an expensive fee to get it repaired, or they buy a new TV. Well, let's say you're a Sony customer. You'll probably say, I'm not buying Sony ever again. It doesn't really matter. They know the tricks. Panasonic customers will say exactly the same, and they'll go and buy Samsung. Samsung customers that are fed up will probably go and buy Sony. Therefore, the manufacturer really never notices a decrease in sales. And as you're just about to witness, the picture is absolutely perfect. You can't even tell if there's a backlight out. The truth is, there isn't a backlight out. Every one of the LEDs is currently lit up, they're running fine. Now, one of them will be a little bit leaky, and it is sending a signal to that chip to close things down. And again, just like the analogy of the lamps in your house, none of them are going to be perfect. Some are on the way out, some are going to be a little bit leaky. The odd voltage is going to be a strange one here and there in certain bulbs. But that doesn't mean you have to switch your mains off and no electricity comes to your house. So with that in mind, this chip shouldn't shut the whole TV down. It could carry on working for quite some time, probably years, maybe even another decade. Let's remember, the old-fashioned TVs never had circuitry like this to shut the whole TV down if something went wrong. It was just obvious. It went pop and you replaced it. This TV is being shut down just because of a small LED problem that's not going to cause any damage to the set at any time. Now on this occasion, I'm not going to show you the model number of the TV, and I'm not going to show you how to do the bypass, because that would be irresponsible of me. And the truth is, you won't find an engineer that will show you how to do it either. It's just too dangerous. I'm just pointing out the fact that this LED protection circuit is not really needed. There is no way that this TV should be going to the scrapyard or even being repaired just because of an integrated circuit that the manufacturers have put there to get you to buy another TV sooner than you need. But if the time has come for you to buy a new TV, I can't really give you any top tips. They're all as good as each other, they're all as bad as each other. The only thing I will say in 2024, it's wise to always make sure you get an extended warranty, because most retailers will not help you after the 12 months manufacturer's warranty runs out. So if you can get a 5-year deal or a 6-year deal, it is recommended. It is the great LED TV con, and we fall for it. But you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I didn't sign up for this. The truth is you did. In fact, we all did. Do you remember all those years ago when you first set up your TV, you had to agree to the terms and conditions? Did we check the page after page of what they were telling us the terms of service were? The truth is no. We just scroll down to the bottom, do the little tick, and then start to watch the TV. It's what everybody does. But inside those terms and conditions, they've got you by the, well, you know. Terms and conditions on modern sets basically tells the consumer that they don't really own the TV and there's not much they can do about it. They can change all the details overnight if they want to. They can turn it into a dishwasher if they wanted to. Sorry, shouldn't give them any ideas. In all seriousness, it's a bit frustrating. There's just not much you can do about it. But this has been the #1 premature killer of all LED TVs over the last 10 to 15 years. Backlights that go faulty that don't necessarily have to be switched off, and the TV definitely doesn't have to be shut down. You shouldn't have to take it in for repair, and it's not really time for a new TV. This tiny IC circuit is responsible for the thousands of TVs that are being collated every week at your local recycling centre. Across the UK, that means hundreds of thousands, for no real reason. It's a waste. It is just the great LED TV con.